I bet you thought GGG abandoned you and they were done with 319 and they were only working on 320. Well, to be honest, I kind of did too. But good news is they did just announce some upcoming changes that are coming. This isn't going to be life-changing for anyone, but for anyone still playing 3.19, these are really, really nice changes. So let's get right into it. All right, this is going to be patch number 10. I did think that they were basically done considering the fact that the last patch was named 3.19.1. They dropped the letters on 3.19.0, and I thought they were basically done. Generally, they do stop patching. Absolutely, by the end of 3 weeks, they're just done. But we all know that 3.19 felt really, really rushed, was really flawed, and felt really, really awful for everybody. And they're still looking at making it feel a bit better. For those of us that are still playing, we're very thankful for this. In the upcoming patches, we'll be making some further small changes for Lake of Kalandra. In a previous post, we mentioned discussing issues related to magifying culling, as well as cases where it feels bad. In both of these cases, our discussions are ongoing. However, in order to provide a bit more certainty, we can say that we don't have easy solutions, and we'll be looking at what's possible for 3.20. So very, very unfortunate news is that culling stuff with the magic find, buying someone on TFT, they're not going to be fixing that until 3.20. But definitely check out the video that I posted earlier today. Building around Grand Design and specific Wandering Path, I can guarantee that you'll get really, really good drops if you use those Atlas trees, and even just Elk and Go, they're really, really good. So if you're having difficulty making currency right now, please check that stuff out. Magic Find is not necessary. You can still make a lot of currency. Upcoming changes. We're planning on removing gems as a possible reward from tier 3 and 4 generic encounters in the lake. For the most part, these will be replaced with currency chests. This is a gigantic upgrade, honestly. Nothing feels worse than getting those gem rewards from those tier 3 and 4 encounters in the lake. I've actually been doing a lot of lakes the past few days. The rewards in Lake feel like a really, really good map, like running a 10 out of 10 map. So basically on par with a good heist contract, but definitely doesn't give you that like oomph feel of Sentinel last league, right? And a lot of that is just getting those bad reward chests. I can speak personally that on average, I've been getting 1 to 2 divines a day just from the lakes that I've been building and running each day. And all of the gem chests that I get, which currently are really, really common, they just drop absolutely nothing. You get 21 0 quality gems, or you get level 1 23 quality gems. I don't know if I've even gotten a 21 20 gem at all from any of those chests. When you see those gem chests, you know they're just really bad. I haven't gotten Enhanced Power or Enlighten myself, so fewer of those would be really good. I can speak to the high tier currency chests. They do drop really good currency. I would say about 10 to 15 chaos on average. So this is going to be a giant buff to running lakes. We're planning to reduce the number of monsters that spawn in the Reflection of the Dream encounter. This is the high level breach encounter. This is for reasons related to performance and the difficulty level. I did run a Reflection of the Dream tier 13 or 14 breach today. My build is pretty tanky. I have about 6k life, max res, max block, recover on block, all that type of stuff. And I was getting basically one shot just trying to walk in there. So maybe that'll make it a little bit better, but I think it's still going to be way too hard for the encounter. We are lowering the duration of Shocked Ground from electrocuting from 25 seconds to 10 seconds. That'll be really nice. 25 seconds is just such an absurd number. And I think that that's all of the on-death ground effects that are in the game right now that we get from ArchNemesis. It lasts just really, really long. 10 seconds is still a pretty long amount of time in Path of Exile, but that is an improvement. Considering how scary Shocked Ground is in general, I do recommend getting Shock Immunity wherever you can, regardless, getting it on a Flask, getting it on Jewels. My personal favorite right now is Tempus Shield. We're removing the damage from Permafrost cold damaging ground area. This only applies chill. This is my single favorite change from this patch. I actually counted today. It is at least 8 seconds for the damage over time effect. I have a build, like I said, I have 6k life, I have max res, 500 life regen per second, and these cold damaging ground areas, if I glance away from the screen for just a second, my character is dead. The damage was way, way overtuned, and this is a gigantic buff, actually, by just removing the dot entirely. I'm very happy for this one. We're lowering the duration of Incendiary's fire damaging ground effect from 4 seconds to around 3 seconds. 3 seconds is still a pretty long time in Path of Exile, but that will just make it easier to pick up your loot after you kill the monsters. We're increasing the cooldown from Ice Prison from 5 seconds to 10 seconds, but the duration will be increased from 3 to 5 seconds. This results in a 50% prison uptime rather than 60%, and fewer overall prisons. So that'll be good. With fewer prisons regardless, it'll be a lot easier. Just flame dash out of them once, and then you're good to go. For magic monsters only, we're disabling on-death ground effects for the Incendiary modifier. We're also disabling volatiles from Toxic for magic monsters. Right now, you've probably experienced it. You run into a toxic pack of blue monsters, you kill them all, and you have just 10 of those toxic balls chasing you. Removing that entirely will be gigantic. Not to mention that damage over time incendiary modifier. It'll stack like the entire screen, and that's been just like an absolute pain in the butt right now. So thank God that that's getting removed. This is a really, really interesting change, actually. Flasks from empowered elements will have fractured modifiers. Right now, you'll just get a lot of flasks that drop. Everyone turn them off on the loot filters. They're absolute garbage. But now fractured flasks, this is just a whole new thing in the game. And if you know, when they changed the flasks a few patches ago, they added a lot more modifiers, a lot more tiers to those modifiers. Rolling those perfect flasks got a lot harder. But now with fractured modifiers, you can very easily just alteration aug for the one thing that you're looking for. It's going to add a lot of value to picking up flasks again, and crafting them will get a lot easier. So access to well-rolled flasks will be a lot easier for a lot more players. I think this is really, really cool, actually. We're planning to increase the chances for Will of Chaos and Deadly End Ultimatum aspects to drop from their relevant bosses. These are the pieces for the ultimatum key, and this will be a lot easier to run the ultimatum boss. Right now, those keys are 6, 7 plus divines, so more access to this will just be, a lot easier to run the challenge. More access to Relic of the Pact and Hateforge, Maxwaddle's, however you pronounce that shield that everyone is using to counter the Doriani's prototype downside. So that's going to be really, really good for everybody. We have a small patch coming out in the next couple days, so the next patch that comes out will not be this one, but then we're going to get these changes out as soon as we can. So yeah, if you thought GGG abandoned you, they didn't quite. They're still working on this league. These are all really, really good changes, honestly. Whatever your opinion is, whether this is good enough, whether this is not good enough, this is positive in the right direction, and especially adding mid-league really cool things like these fractured flasks. I would love to see more stuff like this. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye. Keep annulling and reforge crit. I mean, if you want me to. All right. Hey, perfect quiver. Perfect quiver. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. The quiver. We're done.